Everybody, this is episode 165 of the Carrying the Culture
Oh,
Show. Yeah, man. Super excited about this one. It's your boy Tamal, like Jamal, but with a T. And I'm super excited about our guest. It's been a minute. One of the best lyricists on this planet. I do not say that lightly. One of the best lyricists on this planet, from one of the best crews on this planet. We got a man, Phesto Dee, joining us. Souls of Mischief, Hieroglyphics, Oakland,
what up?
California.
What up? What up?
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all for joining us.
Yeah, it's been a
It's
minute,
great to be
so
back. It's great to
yeah,
be
no,
back, man.
good to have you on, man. Again, it's good to chop. Always good to chop it up. So we're just gonna jump around. There's just a few things I wanna cover and just catch up and jump around and just chop it up. Hour will go by quickly. So thank you for rocking with us, though.
I
Appreciate
know
you.
it went by fast last time. I was like,
Yeah.
man, it's already an hour. Damn.
Shong. So, but let's get right into it, man. So, um, I last saw you personally was on the '93 Till tour a couple years ago. I was able to go to a couple shows in Brooklyn Bowl and Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I was trying to get you guys together. It didn't happen, but I wanted to get you guys together after to do like a recap and just chop it up. But so I've been kind of catching up with everybody, just asking them independently, like, what was that like for you, family? Because as I was kind of following, it was like almost like the Iditarod dog race. I was like kind of following you guys and like and just watching, and like more dates got added, and every time I thought you were going to be home, you guys were going to be home. It was like, nah, we A plus was like, yo, we out here right now, like and like, you know, I was able to go to two shows, and it was great, and but just tell me a little bit about that. Like, just what was that like for you? How did you maintain the energy? For like damn near 9 months, 10 months you were on the road? Like, pretty. I mean, it was a long time.
Man, it was longer than that, man. We actually started in February of the first show was like end of February in of 23.
Mm-hmm.
And then we didn't end until almost what?
Like,
Yeah, like 24 at the really it was over. It went the whole year, really. So yeah, but then we stopped that, but then we went right back out with Cypress the following spring. So that calendar year, and then we came right back to spring and we went out with Cypress,
that's right.
just as support for them. So Cypress Hill. So you know, it was not easy. I tell everybody it was not easy, man. I'm not even gonna lie. We did 87 dates just in the United States. Um, we set out to do 93 dates as for those that don't know, as 30-year anniversary for 93 Till Infinity. And that was the goal. And when when that was first put in the air, I was kind of like, y'all crazy. Like, ain't no, you know what I mean? Like 93 dates.
Who came up with
That's
this idea?
that's nuts.
Who came up with this, family? Like, how did this come up? Who came up with this idea?
To be honest, I don't really remember. Stuff just floats around, and we got like a text thread with all of us in it. And then somebody will say something like, and then somebody else will re-mention it later. So I don't want to say the wrong person because I
Yeah.
honestly don't know who it was. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. I can tell you that. If it was me, I'll tell you straight up it was me,
Yeah.
but it was not me.
Yeah.
Um, but I thought, I thought it was like, visions of grandeur, so to speak. I didn't think that it was really something that we could do, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like that level of commitment is just like, we got families and we got lives, man. So it's kind of like we had to just set everything to the side. Obviously the goal was to represent, those 30 years as best as possible. So yeah, man, we hit we didn't go everywhere, like you can't go everywhere, but we hit our marks. I'll say that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it's still we're still actually the 30-year anniversary is actually still going, believe it or not. We just came back from the UK. We did 3 dates with the Far Side over there. So we did
Oh.
London, Manchester, and Bristol. We just got back day before yesterday.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like fresh off the plane. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Really
wow.
still. So yeah. So
I mean,
this is the first time in a while.
how did that? I mean, like being on the road so long. Like, I mean, how did you I guess my biggest thing is always like, how did you maintain the energy, bro? Like, was it? I mean, because I was I'm looking at the calendar and the schedule, and I'm seeing back to back to back to back to back to back, and it was funny because like when I saw you, each time I saw you guys, it was New York and Ann Arbor, Michigan, and they were far enough apart where it was like they were like distinct shows, and I'm like, damn, how are they do? But it, I'm knowing that you guys are doing shows all in between those, but I'm like, damn, how are they keeping this energy going?
Man, it's you get on the roll. That's the thing about hip hop, man. Is just like once that energy gets going, it's like the momentum just carries you through. You know what I mean? And everybody, and shout out to the fans, because you know, you go certain places, right? And you kind of like you might underestimate like the level of fandom that is in those places, because some places it'd be hit or miss some nights, to be honest, but for the most part, 95% of the time it was just like people who were there, either they were there in 93, or they like, I love that song and I love that record and I want to see what souls, I've never seen them live. So we would ask that every night. We say, how many people were born in 93?
Right, right, right.
You know what I mean? Let alone, alive, but how many people have seen Souls Mischief perform before? How many people is this your first time seeing us? So we had a whole, range of, generations and everything, man. It was crazy. We had a dude come to the show. He brought his 10-year-old son. He was 30. So he's like, oh, so I'm like, okay, so you're born the year the record came out. So he was like, yeah. He was like, and when I was 10, my dad brought me to see you guys. So this is three generations of people that
Whoa!
can't. Yeah, and this was in I'm forgetting the city, but it was in Germany. I believe it was in Germany. And yeah, it's three generations, man. So stuff like that, that's the kind of stuff. That's like, for me, that's like that energy, you're wondering where it comes from. It comes from those kind of conversations, in
Yeah,
and out, every night, having those conversations with people.
yeah,
Something along those lines, you would experience that. So it just and then us, we've been together for so long, man. It's like actualizing that, man, wow, we really been doing this for 3 decades. you know like I remember I was talking to my dad. We hadn't even hit our 20-year reunion, and I was like, Dad, we've been doing this for 15 years. And he kind of laughed at me, like, like 15 years, like, that ain't like, that's not really nothing to,
right, right.
be bragging about. Yeah, so I was looking back on that like, wow, man, that was 15 years ago I had that conversation with him. So, I mean, time flies. It's not a lie. Time flies when you're having fun. It's a blessing to be able to do what you love, and keep on doing it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
no,
doing anything for 30 years is incredible. You
yeah,
know what I
man.
mean?
I
Doing
always
anything
say
for
that.
30 years.
Yeah, longevity is in doing something at a high level. To me, that is like when you just look at people who've done it, whether it's sports or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, damn, like this is. It means, and again, at a high level, like you guys have, like, haven't lost a beat. I mean, like, reflipped the 93 till joint. Like, it's like, and so it's amazing, man. Like, I was going to ask you. I mean, it was a nice lead up to this question. Do you ever, does it feel surreal for you, or do you ever like pinch yourself and be like, man, like, I mean, I don't know what else is going on in your life, but I mean, as far as this part of
Yeah.
your life, like, damn, like,
I mean, it is a little surreal, because I'm looking at my kids now and I'm like, man, where did the time go? You know what I mean? You as a father, like you look up one day and they like, it's like, man, where did the time go? You know what I mean? Like
right,
I remember leaving when my son was like just born, like, man, I gotta go. And it was the first time I was away from him, and that was when he was like, no, this was on our 20-year anniversary, I believe. So, um, you know, I look back on those moments now and I'm like, man, it really is surreal, because it's like you meet so many people, you go so many places, and like hip hop is taking you there. You may never have gone there if it wasn't for the music. If it wasn't for, you know what I mean? I always tell people it's literally a magic carpet ride. That's what it feels like. You know what I mean? Like we just got on this magic carpet, and people call us. We don't call anybody and say, hey, can we come perform? You know what I mean? It would be that it would be different if that was the case. There would be, but these are people that it's the demand. You know, the people bring us there. You know what I mean? So
Man,
it's I always tell people that the stage to me is where everything culminates. So you start off with a thought, the thought goes on to, you know, a pen and goes to the pen, and then from the pen it leaks onto the paper, and from the paper it travels onto, through this device called the microphone into this channel, and the next thing you know it's on a song, and then that song gets put out into the world, and people either love it or they don't. You know what I mean? And fortunately for us, we have a song that like is like just in the fabric of hip hop. You know what I mean? It's like when you talk about hip hop, if an alien just came and he was like, what's hip hop? You play 93 till infinity, and he's gonna understand what hip hop is from listening to that record. You know what I mean? That's what I feel like that record represents. And not only is he gonna understand hip hop, but he's gonna understand a very specific kind of hip hop too.
right,
You know
right.
what I mean? And he's gonna hear four distinct voices. He's gonna hear four distinct thought streams. He's gonna understand that it's a collective thing. It's about a unified force. It's like it's not just a singular individual thing. You know what I mean? It's a group of individuals coming together to create something. So um that's what I feel like we kind of like bear that torch. We're the flag bearers of the group. You know what I mean? It's not a lot of groups that just come and just, you know, are not like a super group, or you know what I mean? Like a
Yeah,
bunch of just MCs just put together, but like an actual group that
yeah,
everybody compliments everybody, and it's a seamlessness to it, but it's also like we're all distinct individuals as well. We all have our own experience as well. But when we come together, it's like it's like hand making a fist, you
yeah.
know?
And you're all definitely very different people. You know what I'm saying? Like very different. I mean, like I can't ever find Opio anywhere. I mean, but like I mean, you're all different people, and like we're very cool people. But it's there's a uniqueness about the four of you because for me my introduction was when I tell the story a lot is just when I saw That's When You Lost the video, and I'm like, who are these guys from somewhere else that are dressed like me and are outside in the woods and shit? And who's this dude with the squeaky with the weird voice? And who's I'm like, and it was crazy because it was so unique because there's the change from Tajay's tall ass bouncing around, and then here you guys come in A plus, and then Opio, and it was what is this, and it was like I'll never forget that, like seeing that for the first time and seeing you guys, and it was just like, man, these dudes are not like I'd never seen anything like that because it was like at that time too, West Coast hip hop had a certain flavor, certain style, right? Like,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
So
Everything was by design. We knew what we were doing. You know what I mean? It wasn't an accident that we rap the way we rap, and the shit was funny to us, to keep it real. Like, so that, like, I feel like one of the fabrics of Souls of Mischief is a certain kind of comedy. Like, everybody might not get it or even perceive it as comedy, but we used to think the shit was kind of funny in a way, like talking more proper on a rap as opposed to like more like slang, like, you know what I mean, like saying I, like pronouncing the word I do this and I do that, and
yeah,
you know what I mean, like if you listen to the way we talking, it sounds like dictionary proper, right? That was
right,
all of that was by design. That wasn't an accident that we were doing that. You know what I mean? We were like, this is what's going to separate us from everything that's out right now. Because if you were like, you could look at California as one massive state, which it is,
yeah,
but even within California, you got the Bay Area, which wasn't even a thing. The Bay Area was not even a thing. Really, quite frankly, Oakland was a thing. You can't find many artists outside of Oakland in the early 90s. You know what I'm
right,
saying? It was only a couple. You know what I mean? It was only a couple. It was they did exist, but Oakland was where we were from. So we were just like, okay, we're gonna represent Oakland, but we're gonna represent Oakland in a different way than it's ever been represented before. Digital Underground was on some party stuff, you know what I mean? And they was throw that on, and everybody's dancing and having fun, and then the rest of the stuff was like, Too Short was on it, obviously. Richie Rich was on this thing with Sideshow, and it's countless groups that were influential to the sound. When Dell came out, I think people were like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, it's a different sound out there, right? Like, everybody is not just on this player pimp, stuff or whatever. You know
Right,
what I'm
right, right,
saying?
right, right.
It's some dudes out there that's painting with a different brush, and I think that speaks to, if you understand the Bay Area and the demographic out here, it's been diverse musically for decades. We're not the first people to trace outside the lines. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying?
mm.
It's so many acts from out here that are influential to all of music, not just hip hop. You know, and we just wanted to carry that tradition, man, and add to the fabric of hip hop, because all the groups that we liked, that's what they were doing.
Right, right, right,
They
right.
were like they were like, shout out to De La Soul and Tribe, and they didn't have a Oakland sound, obviously, but we could take something from them, like, yo, so you could just be yourself. You don't have to try to be like, you know, and quite frankly, all of my OGs and my older cousins and all that, they was telling me to do that anyway. They was like,
Mm,
don't be like us. Like, you're a different, you cut from a different cloth. Don't just be who you are. You don't have to try to fit in with. So I was taught that in my real life and through the music I listen to.
right,
You know
right,
what I mean?
right,
And
right,
so that's why it was important to get on a record and like shine in a different way, and try to add something to the fabric, because it was so many lanes at that time and so many different flavors, and I think the regions maybe hadn't been quite fully understood yet, because it was so East Coast dominant still at that time.
right.
And that was when I think that's when the floodgates opened. Around that era is when the floodgates started to open, and you started to hear, shortly after us, there's Outkast, and there's, it just started to like blossom in all over. We can even take it overseas. It's like stuff started to come from over there too. But yeah, everything we did was by design. It was nothing was accidental.
Wow,
It
I
was
didn't.
very, very, very calculated, and very, like, even where we filmed the videos.
Yep.
Michael Lucero, shout out Michael Lucero, who was the brainchild of a lot of those ideas, and who was like, let's just go where you guys really go. What do you guys really do? I'm not gonna put you up in a studio with these bright lights and make you look like something you're not. Let's go where you really go. You know what I mean? So he's like, oh man, we go up in the hills and chill out. You know what I mean? That's literally what we do. We go to the studio, we go up in the hills and chill out and do our thing up there. You know what I'm saying? And so he's like, okay, let's take it even further. Let's go out to Yosemite. Let's go over to, you know what I mean? So he was dialed in with what we were doing. He was like, you guys are on some other stuff. And a lot of the stuff from that era, that's why it's such a beautiful timing with all of that, because you had the grimy era. You know what I mean? It was in the sewers, and you know what I mean, in the back alleys, and you know what I
Right.
mean? It was like
Literally.
hip hop is not monochromatic, man. It's a prism. It's a lot of different stuff. You know what I mean? So um, you know, I give a lot of respect to Slick Rick. Slick Rick to me was super different. When that's one of the first vinyl records I ever bought. I bought it in '83 when I didn't even really have any money. You know what I mean? It was like the money was like given. I think I got it from, did some chores or something, mowed the
Right,
lawn or something, like, I don't
right,
know what I
right.
did to get the money, but that's one of the first records I bought. And when I put it on, I remember, still to this day, I can remember like yesterday taking that thing out the vinyl and putting it on the turntable and hearing that voice that sounded so different from any other voice that I had ever heard. I was like, wow. And so I hope people got that out of us, man. I hope people took home a Souls of Mischief record and was like, put it on there, like, man, I never heard anything like this.
The
You
blue
know?
tape, bro. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah.
guys were different, and that was what was, and that you made a good point about that era, man. Like it was okay to be different. You had your hard rocks, you had your hard rocks with bars, you had your party shit, you had your political stuff, you had your weed
Right.
head shit, you had it all. You had your abstract stuff, and it was all good
Hmm.
because it was all hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And it was dope. You know what I'm saying? So I think some of that's changed a little bit in terms of, but I feel like. that was a beautiful part of that time, man. Like you could
Hmm.
like if yeah, it was just a beautiful, beautiful time. I mean, you had your East Coast stuff, your West Coast, your South, whatever. So you know, yo, I got a question.
Absolutely.
Uh, like, what would you be doing right now with your life if you weren't a rapper in a world famous group? What would you be doing? Like, what would you have leaned
Um,
into growing up?
I probably would have leaned into my visual art. You know, I feel like I'm a visual artist. I still feel like I'm a visual artist first.
You do some photography, right?
You,
Yeah.
yeah, but photography I think is more so an extension of being a visual artist. Like
Mm,
just and visual art to me is about like it's just you. It's not about trying to do something somebody already did or anything like
mm.
that. It's just like just letting something come out of you that's in, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's a conduit to your thoughts, but it's like you're not trying to recreate anything. You're just trying to just put something on paper. You know what I mean? Just whether it's like, I did graffiti art growing up, but I did most of the graffiti art I did was on paper.
Right.
I didn't really do a lot. I didn't like paint trains and all of that stuff. But I was always drawing, but it was like my favorite form of expression, so to speak, was to
You
just pick up a pen and just write or draw.
you still like drawing stuff a lot?
I draw every day.
Oh,
I
really?
draw every day. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm actually right now. I'm in design right now. So I went back to get my design degree. Um, and
Like what?
so I
Graphic design or like what type of design?
no no so industrial design, which is
Industrial. Okay.
yeah. So I always tell everybody that everything around you is designed. Whether it's furniture or a light fixture or your blender on your counter, your dishwasher, your refrigerator, your door handles, your forks and your knives. Everything is designed. Um, and so a lot of the ways things were designed was from someone drawing it. It came from a need most of the time, but once you were like, somebody was like, oh, I got this idea, then they to visualize it, they sketched it out,
You're in
and
school right
so
now?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Dang.
absolutely.
That's
Yep, I go
dope.
to San Francisco State University. I'm finishing up I'm in my last semester right now.
Oh, dope. Congratulations, man. I mean, that's
Yeah, yeah.
another thing on your plate. That's wild. So what do you? Is there something that you're looking to do in particular with that when you're done, or like what, or just kind of see where it goes, or like was this more of a
I
personal
mean, it's
fulfillment
it's
thing,
um
or
it's you know we we've been running our business now for almost 30 years, right? So during that time, we've had to come up you know with products, right? Most of them have been apparel based, right? Most of it is t-shirts and hats and but we've done other things too. Frisbees and all of these different things. So we always have a whole bunch of ideas, but a lot of time, the ideas, they never manifest into anything. They just stay an idea. So, and rightfully so, right? Because everything doesn't deserve to be turned into a physical thing, right? Some things
okay.
are not, some things don't cut the mustard. You know what I'm saying? We have a brand, which is, I feel like if you like to make things and you're a creative and you have a brand, then it's limitless possibilities of what you can do. So, um, I don't like to say I'm gonna do this, that, or the other because I really don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. But I'm working on a few things right now, and when they're done, then people will know. But I don't like to say like while it's in the process,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
while it's in the process because it may not. A lot of things begin with research, and sometimes the research is wrong.
Right, right,
Sometimes
right.
the results you get from research is wrong. Sometimes it takes 1 year to research something. Sometimes it takes 10 years to research
Yeah.
something.
Then you
You know?
realize what you did, what you were researching. You're like, we gotta go up another road now. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
right. But the music is always you know, music is a product, right? So every time, like I'm in product design, right? Every time we made a record, that became a product, right? So I was already learning how to create a product before I ever went to product design school. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like, I'm just learning the textbook way that people design things. Like, like Johnny Ivy, who's the lead designer at Apple and designed the iPhone and all of that, is like he learned from another dude named Dieter Rams. Dieter Rams was the lead designer at a company called Brown. If you look at all the Brown stuff, it looks just like Apple stuff. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So like it's good to know it's good to have a historical perspective on things. You know what I mean? Years ago I went back to school for music. I really wanted to understand like how music theory came about and
Right.
how, you know what I mean? So I'm just a student. I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd like that. You know what I mean? Like I like to learn and I like to unearth things and demystify things that I wonder about in my brain. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's not really about doing anything specific. It's more about just learning. That's the
Yeah.
that's my life's. I'm a student of of life.
Yeah. No,
And so I will continue to learn as long as I'm alive.
I hear you. I like that too. I mean, that's me too. Like that's my wife, man. I got like I go down the Wikipedia rabbit hole like it's nobody's business. And I mean, because I just like, I mean, I like stuff. I like facts and just these things. I'll be like, well, I gotta go check. Like something will intrigue me. I'm like, I gotta check that out and stuff. And I just think it's fun. It keeps you fresh, and then you realize how much you actually don't know. Right. Right. Like it's
Man,
pretty
it's
humbling.
so much. It's so much to learn, and especially with these like I've been doing like a lot of 3D rendering.
Mm,
So I'll draw something out, but then I'll a lot of design stuff is learning how to do CAD, which is computer,
mm-hmm.
basically. So that side of it is like I'm translating a lot of the stuff that I learned through music software. So when I learned how to first use Pro Tools and Reason and all the beat making tools, I also learned like a lot of the hotkeys and things like that help you like speed up your workflow. A lot of that translates over into design too.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but
Right.
learning how to draw in 3D is something that's I've been nerding out on for the last like maybe 3 years. You know,
Yeah.
once I found out that you could draw in 3D in computers, I was like, oh, this is like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's almost like when I first started doing graffiti, and I was like, oh wow, you could take these letters and you could do this. Like I feel the same way about 3D design.
Yeah.
The only difference is like I could 3D print stuff, so I could take that 3D design and like make it actually come to life. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
So
It's dope.
so it's that's been like I've been while we were on that tour, I was also doing that at the same time
Oh,
too.
word,
So
yeah. And
yeah,
A, yeah, I mean, A plus was telling me about. I mean, it was funny. Like he was telling me he was doing different stuff on the tour as well. Like, so no, that's dope, man.
everybody has their thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Everybody has their thing they do, and I think that's like what one of the things that keeps us grounded is like we're like you said, it keeps you sharp when you're learning, right? But I also like to like I'm in school with a lot of young people. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's not like
yeah,
I'm in school with people my age. I'm in school with you know what I mean with Gen Z basically. So it's like it's cool to be around them because it's like they like got something to go for. It's like they not in a position in their life where they're like, oh, I got kids and I'm just working, and they're like, man, I'm hustling trying to get to where I want to go. So it's good to be around people like that. It kind of
yeah.
motivates you a little bit. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, right. Yo, I want. We never gotten into this before on any of our conversations, but I was listening to one of your joints, and anytime I listen to you, I'm like, my head's about to literally explode, and so I wanted to know like how did the bar work come about? Like, what was the inspiration for that? Like, just how, like, your style is so nice, and it's to me, it's like it's technical, like, and you're like, you got some crazy concepts in there and stuff like that, and like, I really have to re-listen to a lot of stuff you say to make it. And so, where did all of that come from in terms of just up until today, like your style?
Well, I mean, the best way I can describe it is, um, you kind of like when you first start rhyming, you're rhyming basically one syllable, right? And we, everybody knows what a syllable is, right? So it's like the easiest way to put together a rhyme is to just have that one syllable land on what we call the four. So the four is, one, two, three, four. That's where your rhyme, that one syllable landing on the four, right? I think everybody kind of starts off like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's not like, there's something in simplicity that's also complex.
Facts.
So it's not like I don't look at it as simple or complex when you add more syllables. Some people look at it like that. Oh, like he's saying so many syllables in the rap, so it's a more complex rhyme. But I always looked at it like, you know what? If you're able to make that one syllable really ring true and really paint your thoughts that way, that's almost more difficult because you're not saying as many syllables, and so people might be like, oh, okay, he ain't really rhyme. He ain't really like getting it in because rhythmically it's not a lot going on. But if you listen to some of the greatest raps, that's what they are. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Thinking of a master plan.
Right.
This ain't nothing but sweat inside my hand. So plan and hand land on the floor, right?
Right.
That that's like one of the most like pillars of hip hop, right? When you think about like obviously it's more to it. It's the beat and all of that, right? And just the flavor of it too, right? And the way his voice sounds and all that. Obviously, all that comes into play. But to me, when I first started rhyming, I was like, you know what? I think you kind of like, I think Clark Terry said it best with Clark Terry, the horn player. He was like, when you first start out doing, music, you want to imitate. It's three stages, kind of like you go. The first stage is like you imitate, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's paying respect to the people that you who influenced you, inspired you to do it, right? So you kind of imitate them. There's nothing wrong with that. Um, Now if you keep doing that, then that's a problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're supposed to move past the imitation to internalization. That means you're taking what you imitated, and now that's like in you in a way, like it's part of your fabric now. But you're not copying because you know what you do with that internalization. The third eye is innovation. So you start off imitating, then you internalize, and then you innovate, right? So when you reach the innovation stage, that's when no one can even tell where you were, what your inspiration was. Maybe some people can, but not everybody will be
Right.
able to. You know what I mean? You look at your greatest, you know, whatever your Mount Rushmore or top 10, or maybe you don't have a Mount Rushmore, maybe you have a top 25, I don't know. Look at all of those guys. There's only a few original architects of the major styles. You know what I mean? And everything else after that is people taking those styles and mixing and matching them and changing them and rearranging them and throwing them all together into one gumbo, you know? So I feel like that's what I try to accomplish is like taking all of the stuff that happened that predates my style, putting them into a gumbo, a blender, mixing them up, and then add my own individuality to it. So
Right.
that's the suffix stacking, which was Kumo D, right? Kumo, I call that suffix stacking. Suffix is the last part of the word. So innovation, domination, that style, right? You couldn't keep doing that.
Right.
That was him.
Yeah.
But that's the original, one of the original foundational styles of MCing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like he was an alien when he came when he was doing that. You know what I mean? It moved past that because somebody else said, you know what? I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna throw that in my gumbo, but I'm not gonna use that. That's not gonna be the main ingredient. That's only gonna be one ingredient.
Right.
I'm gonna add more ingredients to it. So then you had enjambment, which is like when you don't just end on the four. Now you're gonna wrap around and come back to the one. With that thought keeps going. Thinking of a master plan ain't nothing but sweat inside my hands. So See, the sentence kept going. So I is in jamming. That's when you go around, right? So we're uh, we're we're learning all of this as we're not sitting there trying to learn it. We just
Right.
love hip hop. You know what I mean? So all of that being done is like part of the gumbo. You know what I'm saying? And then you put your own individuality into it. And I feel like your individuality has to do with your own experiences. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Right.
And it's obviously your influences are in there. You know, you can hear my influences in my rhymes.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but I don't hang my hat on my influences because I want it to be me. I wanted to, my voice, I feel like voice is maybe the one thing that you don't have as much control over that because your voice is your voice.
Right. Right.
And
Right. Right.
if you start trying to go too far from your natural voice, people could tell. They're like, oh, that's not how he really sounds. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Right.
But I think the beats, shout out A plus who was, A plus's beats kind of, cornered me into a certain style too. Because the way everything he made was like mostly like a drum break, either chopped or just like remnants of the drum break like down below. And then there would be like a melodic sample. So I used to hear that melody. You know what? I still hear it today, but I don't hear it like I used to hear it back then. So
Mm.
I was trying to make my. That's why I rhyme different now, I think, than I did back then. Because back then I was listening a lot to the melody, and I was like, I need to be with that melody. But I still wanted to be so my voice sounds more melodic. I intentionally was trying to sound melodic because the samples were melodic. And then as I got into my own, I was like, I can clash with the beat. I don't need to meet the beat.
Right. Right.
The rhythm I need to, but not the actual tonality of the beat of the music. I hope I'm not going over people's heads.
No, it's
Just
great,
let
man. I love. I mean, I've nerded out with casual on here about this stuff. I mean, so no, it's awesome, man. And this is hip hop, and this is the stuff that we want to hear, man. So no, it's someone said that's talking that stuff. That's so no, it's dope. I mean, I was gonna say, what was I gonna say? Do you have a specific approach to like writing? Like, if you would like to you guys would do a project or to do something like, is there a specific approach you have every time? How do you go about like writing a joint?
No, I don't have a
No.
specific approach. Um, if I had to pin one thing down, I would say, um, I try not to worry about like the first line,
Mm.
because to me the first line can get you like you just sitting there and you just like, oh, just like you want, because everybody wants their first line to be dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so I'll say, you know what? I don't care about the first line. I'm gonna just start writing. And then later on I'll go back and I'll change the first line to a line that I feel like fits, the theme of whatever
Right,
that
right,
rhyme
right. But
is.
you just get it started, though. Just get the ball
I just
rolling.
get it started. I just get the ball rolling.
Right,
I'm trying to get the snowball effect going.
right, right,
And
right.
then I'll go back later after the iron is hot. And then I rewrite the first line. And
Gotcha.
sometimes I rewrite the last line too.
Right.
But it's no, sometimes I'm just driving in my car and I come up with a first line. Or somebody, one of my favorite things is this: when you're having a conversation with somebody and they say a rhyme and they don't even know it.
Uh, and you take that
Like,
shit. Yeah.
yeah, but it's like it's not an obvious one. It's like
Right.
they rhyme like three sentences later, but I can hear it. I'm like, oh damn, you know what I mean? And sometimes it'll work. It's happened before where I've like taken something somebody said and then put it into a rhyme.
Turn it into something. Yeah. No, that's dope. It's. I mean, I love asking that question because every MC that I asked, it's different. Like some. I mean, like it's so different how people approach writing. So it's always interesting. I can't believe it's 8:45 already. Um, like because I want to talk about a little hoops before we get off. Um,
Yes, sir. You
yeah,
know we got to talk about
we gotta talk a little
that.
hoops. But I did want to ask
I'm the
you one.
resident. I'm the resident. I'm the resident. High roll hoop
I
dude.
know, I know.
In case people don't know, I know
No,
you know.
I know, and everybody, yeah, you love the hoops. We're gonna talk a little hoops because I got a couple questions for you about your squad. Um, I just beat my squad last night. So, but before we get into that, this is a. I hope this question doesn't sound weird, but like, how do you guys keep from being dickheads? I mean, it's a, it's the best way I can ask. Yo. You guys are really good people. I consider you like nice guys, and A plus and I have a monthly show we do. Like you're just good people. I mean, never like just chopping it up. And it's been like 6 or 7 years now since I've been catching up with you guys and stuff. And it's always love, always respect. No funny, goofy. I'm a superstar, stupid shit. And so that question is important to me because I run into a lot of your counterparts and they're dickheads. So it's a breath of fresh air. I always say like I can count the number of really good people in this industry on one hand, and so I like to say like you guys are some of the you're one of the good guys, and so to me that's important. Like I mean, above all, like you're just nice people, man, good people, and to me that means a lot. Other than every time I've seen you at shows and stuff, and you always show me love. So how? I mean, it's a weird question, but like, what keeps you guys grounded from not being assholes?
I mean, I think it's your bringing. I think it's your family. Your family is. I come from a big family, so when you come from a real big family, you have a confidence and a modestness or a humbleness about you from the very beginning.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Because that's it. I mean, it obviously depends on what kind of family you come from, but in my family, that's the way it was. It was like, you know, I got 50 cousins, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, quite frankly, 99.9999% were on their, very, very like sharp-witted people.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't speak to, like, it's not like any of them like experience what I experienced exactly, but um, they set a good example, in my opinion, of just like how to treat people.
yeah,
You treat people like you want to be treated.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I've had people like treat me, do stuff to me, and I'm just like, that says more about you than it says about me.
right, right,
You know?
right,
So I just, you know, one thing we're very appreciative of the voice that we have, the platform that we have. We don't take it for granted.
yeah,
And I think you have to have, like, I'll go back to historical perspective. You know, you're standing on the shoulders of so many people who sacrificed for you to even walk the walk and talk the talk.
right,
It wasn't always like this. You know what I mean? Um, and we've all heard the stories, of how it used to be just in a job place or at a school or experience it ourselves in a maybe in a more micro way. You know
right,
what I'm
right,
saying? Maybe more microaggressions or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I think maybe I'm old enough to talk about both the macroaggressions and the microaggressions because I've had all of it hurled at me.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, but you just have to you just take everything with a grain of salt. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like it could all be gone tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? It's tomorrow is not guaranteed. I've seen
nothing.
too many people yesterday, then they weren't there the next day.
Facts, facts.
So enjoy life. That's really what
Oh, Phesto got kicked off. That was wild. I think he will come back. Salute, y'all. This technology. Once I see the notification, I haven't come back. That was wild.
Oh, we back?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where I cut off, but
Yeah, no,
I
you were
did
just
see
saying
that it
enjoy
froze up.
life. I mean, your point was just that enjoy life because it's short, and so I mean, you really were talking about just just being. Seems like you're very appreciative. I mean, overall, of just that it's
Yeah,
not.
man. Man,
You know,
I'm super appreciative, man. And like when I get in that space of making music, that's a blessing, bro. You know what I mean?
right,
That's a blessing. It's a blessing that I can hear, I can see, I could touch and feel. I'm on 2 feet. You know what I'm saying? That's a
right,
blessing. I don't take anything for granted, man.
right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? So I'm not gonna be acting all pretentious and like I'm high. You know what I mean? The high side, no, don't do. That's boosie to me. I never understood why how cats got down like that to
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Well, I thank you for not being like that. I appreciate you guys, man. You guys are good people, man. And for like I said, it just you know, I run into the opposite a lot, and so it's just I just wanted to definitely just you know show some love as far as like just you guys' character. I mean, the music's great, but like you guys are solid people, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's to me that
You
speaks
know,
volumes.
perspective. It's not everybody has perspective. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You gotta have that perspective on things and not take yourself too serious
right,
until it's time to. You
right,
know,
right, right. Let's talk a little hoops before we get an update from you about what's going on with you. I mean, but so I got a question. I see me, and I don't know if my man's on here. There he is. Me and my man Mike Brown, we have it. We chop it up every day. That's my brother from another, and we talk hoops every day. We're both diehard Lakers fans, and so but we talk all types of basketball. And so let me ask you this: we talk about this a lot. You're a Warrior fan, where are you? And you seem like you have a perspective about you. So what is your perspective on Draymond in general? Like because we felt that when that that he should have been gone instead of Jordan Poole at that like he fucked that up like in my opinion, our opinion, and it's like and we feel like Draymond couldn't rock on any other squad. Like we feel like he's like an overrated. Like he does his thing for Golden State, and yes, he's been a part of the chips. But like, So what's your as a fan? What's your objective take if you can have one on Draymond?
Draymond to me is a necessary evil. That's the way I describe him. You know, he's a guy that if I'm on the other team, I hate him. But now the Jordan Poole situation, that's to me. First of all, fights happen all the time in practice. I grew up hooping, so that fight all the time. That's nothing new. Now, what was new about us? Somebody leaked the footage of it. So now you bring in a whole different dynamic. But I don't want to go. I don't want to go too far off on a tangent with that because that's all said and done. And if you had to pick between a guy who was a veteran there and had championships before Jordan Poole arrived, and you had to pick a new guy who he went on to the Wizards, and you saw what happened there. So I like Jordan. I like Jordan Poole. I don't want to. It's not a Jordan Poole thing. It's more like Draymond had seniority, and that's why he stayed. Do I get frustrated with Draymond sometimes? Of course. As a Warriors fan, all Warriors fans get frustrated with Draymond. Why did he do that? Why just shut up? Da, da, da. You know what I mean? We all do that. But at the day, I don't think we would have had those championships without him.
Right.
Number one, who would be your defense? Iguodala? Iguodala was, I mean, hell of a defender, man. You know what I'm saying? But um, Draymond is. I saw it with my. A lot of people didn't watch the Warriors before they won the championships. I did
Right.
because I'm a Warriors fan from way back in the day. So
Eric CP4 days.
I remember when David Lee got hurt and they inserted Draymond into the starting lineup.
David Lee.
Now we all know when something is like okay, and then I'm talking about teams. You see how they play one moment, and then they change up the recipe and they put somebody in or take somebody out, and we see the difference, right?
Right.
When I'm telling you like this, when they made that change, that's what changed the Warriors. When they moved Draymond into the lineup, because then at that point now you had to do like see a lot of the stuff that he does will never show up on the stat sheet. You'll never see it because people don't watch basketball like that. But he's snuffing plays out. I mean, all you have to do is talk to the offensive players on the other team. They hate him, but he's out there snuffing plays out because he's such a high IQ defensive player. That's what changed. Every time the Warriors won the championship, they were either number one defensive team or number two defensive team. If you move them and slide them back to 5, 6, or 7, they're not winning.
Do you think he can could do you think he could work on another team, or is it like just the Warriors?
It depends on the team.
Mm,
It depends on the team.
mm,
Um, you know, we see the small ball 5 all the time now. That's
right,
Draymond. Like
right,
the best players change the game. The best players change the way teams play. You have to try to copy them to beat them. You don't fight fire with ice. You fight fire with fire.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So small ball 5. Okay, now we got to go small. That's Draymond. That's Draymond. So defensive player of the year, his stats speak for themselves. He will never be a dude that his effectiveness shows up in this stat sheet, and
Right.
that's where people lose their wig with basketball. Oh, he's triple single and all this kind of stuff. That's not what he's out there to do.
Right.
He's the,
Where do you see where do you see your Warriors ending up this year? I mean, there's where you want them to be, and then where you
see, yeah. I
is
mean, it's the reality of it is this: they're old, and when you're old, you're injury prone. That's the. But let's say this: if they stay healthy, I absolutely believe. I just told somebody this the other day before the Lakers game. I believe the Warriors can win. And when I
if
say
they stay
win,
out.
I mean win. I mean win at the highest level. When I say win, now look what happened last year. Okay, look what happened last year. Right? They lost to Minnesota. Right? But what happened? Does anybody remember? Because a lot of people forget year to year what happens. What happened to the Warriors in the playoffs last year?
Tell me.
Stephen Curry got hurt.
Hold on, he didn't start.
Okay.
Yeah, he was
So
out.
the Warriors
What?
played game 1 against Minnesota. They won. Stephen Curry got hurt. That was it. It was over.
No,
Right? Now before that, what happened? I'll tell you, they were a 10 seed. They fought from a 10 seed all the way up into get into the playoffs. Right?
yeah,
They won their first round matchup against the Houston Rockets, who were a number 2 seed.
yeah.
So
They talked.
you beat the number 2 seed, and then you get the number 3 seed, and then your best player gets hurt.
Yeah,
So that's why I like our chances because they showed you in the playoffs last year, and Jimmy Butler had only been there. This is why I'm so confident because you know what the Warriors have never been, with the exception of Kevin Durant while he was there, is get to the free throw.
mm,
You
it's a good
watched
point.
you watched the game last night.
I didn't see it last night. It was too late for me. I was asleep.
Okay, so the Lakers made 17 free throws. Okay, they made seven. They were 17 of 28, something like that.
Mhm.
Jimmy Butler made 16 by himself. He was 16 of 16 from the free throw line.
Mm,
So you got a player on your team who can go to the free throw line to the tune of a whole team. Obviously, there's no LeBron, so we're not taking one game and just hanging our hat on that. But
yeah.
I saw it last year. I was like, you know what? We finally can get to the goddamn free throw line
Mm,
because that was my thing about the Warriors is we can never get to the free throw line.
Yeah.
They can grab Stephen Curry and hit him head with an anvil, and he's not going to the free throw line.
That's
Spoken
right.
like a true Warrior fan. I'm a homer. I'm an
You are.
admitted
You
homer.
are. I've
But
seen you online and some of your comments online throwing some of the Bleacher Report and different joints here and there. So I know I was just curious to wanted to get your perspective. I mean, it's a big if though. I mean, I think they're one of the oldest teams in the league. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
they are. They're very old.
Yeah.
Everybody's 35 plus. But you know, it depends, you know, a lot on those guys, right? But it also depends on the young group that they have around them, which is Kaminga, Pajemski, um, you know, Buddy Hield, he's not a spring chicken, but he's not their age.
No. Yeah.
Um, and then, you know, the guys that I really feel like the X factor is really Kaminga though.
Yeah.
He had an excellent game last night, you know, in
But do they want him or
17
not
points.
though? Like that was a weird. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're a player and you
They,
know they've been trying to trade you, they're not trying to give you no run, but then like we want you because you're good. Like that's
I
like
mean, I can't speak to the internal thought process, but what I will say is this: if you're a restricted free agent, you know they're going to match,
yeah,
right? So that must mean they want you.
right.
You know, they don't want you. They're not going to go into the luxury tax because the Warriors have been in the luxury tax. They're already paying Jimmy Butler 81 million. They're paying Steph Curry. They're paying Draymond, and they had to get other players. They had to get Horford. They had to get a center. So
Right.
we've never had a center who could shoot threes. So they to me they got the perfect guy. He's just too old, you know. So I
Yeah.
think the age is their biggest foe, in my opinion. But we'll see. Father time is undefeated, as they say. But you know, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I like our chances.
I'm so hyped the season started though. I mean, I'm like, well, I'm super hyped. I mean, just for basketball. I mean, I love basketball.
Me
Any
too. I'm just glad it's back. I'm glad it's back.
I watch church league, whatever. Like, don't matter. So,
The
um,
other thing, and this is the last thing I'll say, is this year is a different year because all of the injuries.
oh
So
yeah,
like that's why I said like if Tatum was healthy, I never would. I don't think I wouldn't like look at the Warriors like, oh, you know what I mean. We can just run through the Celtics. That's the healthy Celtics. That first of all, they wouldn't have been dismantled. We wouldn't even have Horford if Tatum was healthy. Drew
absolutely.
Holiday would still be there. They would still be the Celtics. But that sets a domino effect. Same thing with Halliburton, Kyrie. It's different people that Damian Lillard. It's like people that got hurt and kind of like. So I feel like it's up in the air. There's more parity this year than in the last few
It's
years. So
wide
that's why I
open.
feel like
I mean,
I feel like it's wide open.
it's wide open. I mean, especially in the East. I mean, so then like
The East is stupid wide open.
yeah,
The West is the Wild West. I
yeah.
mean, to come out of the West is man.
It's been like
Coming out
that
of the
for a
West,
long time with the West too. The West is
but
all
it's
you look at the standings and you see like the fifth best team or so in the West is
in
like
the West. But I'm saying the West got better.
well, I know, but I'm saying
The West
they'll be
got
like number one in the East. But yeah, they're
yeah.
tough.
Damian Lillard moved back to the West.
Right.
You know, I mean,
KD's in
somebody.
Houston. KD's in Houston.
KD's in Houston. They got better. You know what? I will say this about the East, though. Do not sleep on the Detroit Pistons.
Hmm.
Do not sleep on man. The Detroit Pistons. They had injuries in the playoffs too. That's what people forget when the new year rolls around. They forget about those injuries that happen in the playoffs.
Shit
You know,
matters, man. I mean, it
um,
matters.
Indiana lost Miles Turner. Miles Turner went to Milwaukee. So man, I could talk basketball all night, bro.
Nah. I'm gonna have you on. So me and Breeze Bruin from the Juggernauts, we do a show we do an NBA show like we do one like preseason, we do mid year like around the All-Star break, and then we do one right around the playoffs, and then we do something in the summer league so we maybe have to have you on and just chop it up, talk
Yeah,
through.
man.
All right.
Definitely,
I'll let him.
definitely,
I'll let him know. We'll have you on for the next one. The next one will be
man. I would
around
love to.
the next one will be around the All-Star break. So we just did one like kind of NBA
Nice.
season preview and
Oh
stuff.
man, I wish I would have known last year because the All Star was out here
Oh
last year.
yeah. So we go through our teams, talk Knicks, talk Lakers, and then we have our predictions and stuff like that. So that'll be fun. So I'll make sure I reach out and try to get you on for that one.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Yo, before we let you go, like what's I mean, you're super busy. What's anything we should be aware of that's going on for you, tour wise, music wise, life wise, whatever?
Man, we Souls of Mischief. High Road just finished a record. Souls of Mischief has a record on the way. I'm not sure which will happen first.
Woo!
Um,
I think I heard about one of those from A Plus, and I think Domino Dale got something coming up too.
yeah, man. Domino and Dale got a project they did. Um, but man, I'm like, High Road probably got two records worth
What?
of songs that we just did. Yeah.
Come on, man.
And the iron's still hot. You know what I'm saying? Like it's still, and then the Souls of Mischief project is got a little setback, but you know, we that one has been kind of like, you know, like it's a different record from any of the records that we've ever done. So we're really and you know what's dope about it is this. They sound completely different. They sound complete. It's completely different, you know, sound textures and all of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so I really feel like they should have their own space. Like one shouldn't come out on the heels of the other one or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, obviously it will have to be like that. One will have to come before the other, but um, man, we're just super excited, man. About about touring next year, going out on the
2026 we
road.
looking at? I mean, we think
2020, yeah, 2026, 2020 for sure.
okay. All
For
right.
sure.
That's
2026. At least the high road record for sure 2026.
right.
Souls of Mischief had a little bump in the road, some label stuff that we gotta straighten out. But um, you know, that's not always just like in your hands,
But they're
unfortunately.
done.
But
They're done. Or are you still working on them?
they're done. They're
Oh,
done.
fucking go.
Um, yeah, I mean the recording is done. Um, um, mastering, mixing is in process.
Yeah. So I
Um,
mean, all I got here is 2026. I can be patient. I can sit. I can sit
Yeah,
on it.
yeah, 2026, and then we're getting out on the road. We should be out on the road 2026. So the Mischief is going out with the Grouch, Living Legends, and starting on I believe Thanksgiving around that time is the first date. We go. It's called the Grouch Stole Christmas tour, and um and that's something we're looking forward to. Us cunning linguists and somebody else. But yeah, we got this month pretty much off, which is like rare. So
Well,
November is like a chill month, so we can like straighten out some of the stuff with the Souls record and push
yeah,
that a
man.
little further down the line.
Got to pause for a minute. You know what I'm saying, and get some rest. Regroup and stuff. But Hyro record, Souls record. You said two Hyro records already. Souls record. So looking at that 2026.
Yeah,
That's
I mean we got enough. You know, we're gonna find a way to to like consolidate it and make it a great record. You know what I mean? And so, but we got a lot of material, and it's sounding dope, man.
that's
So, and the same with the Souls record. The Souls record got features on there that's like I really would like to say the features, but
I hear
I
you.
gotta keep them under in the bag for now.
Yeah. No, all good. All
But
good.
yeah, really excited, man, about that because we haven't really done like a whole lot of stuff with other artists. So it's some connections on there that we feel like everybody would be excited to hear.
Oh, cause yeah, you have it.
Unexpected too.
Oh,
Some a little more expected than others, but some like you wouldn't even think.
well,
So
I know. A few years ago, Tajay did a record with Coogee Rap, um, and that
that's
was dope.
crazy.
Yeah, that was like this.
We was
That
just
was
talking
this.
about that. We was just talking about his verse the other day when we was in what city were we in? Bristol.
Okay.
Yeah, Bristol, UK. We just talking about, man, that dude is
Yeah.
monster still.
Yeah. No. Still with a lisp, like straight up,
Crazy, man.
don't matter, bro. Like that dude is.
Man, if you people who whenever you haven't heard a G rap verse, I feel sorry for you. I'm like, cause you just missed out on you know what I mean? Like one of the jewels of hip hop. Whenever he
Yeah.
spits a verse, it's a jewel around the necklace of hip hop, for sure. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? And
it's
so, like, man,
inspired
that's
so
one of the
many.
dudes that's like, he's continuing to improve is what's
Yeah.
crazy about it, man.
Yep. Yep.
That's what's so nuts about it, man. It's like he has not ever taken a step back or just melded in on nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
And to hear when Tajay told me the story, I was like, yo, like Tajay was like, yo, he rock with us. I'm like, because we've done shows with G Rap before. I mean, we did a show in it was in somewhere like Northern Europe, something like that. And
Oh
then I
shit.
remember later on, Tajay was like, you know who that was? That was like his hype man that was rocking with him. I was like, nah, who was that? He was like, that was 38 Special.
Oh,
And
okay.
this was like at the time we hadn't heard of 38 Special.
Yeah.
So like to see like, oh, the first time we ever seen him was G Rap hype man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. G Rap's a
It's
tough
just
customer.
he is, bro. He is. And it's like, he's still like somebody that we can say, man, we still definitely look up to him. You know what I'm saying? From the
Yeah.
standpoint of just like, wait, I heard they got a Juice Crew record coming out. That's what I heard.
Yeah. Well, it was
I don't know.
it's Juice Crew, but it's funny. I mean, I think I don't, but RZA's producing it.
Yeah,
Uh,
right. That's
yeah.
what yeah,
So
that's what I heard.
so that that caused some waves a little bit because among some people because everyone's like, "Where's Marley?" You know what I'm saying? Like so interesting. I mean, but yeah,
But I mean, I like stuff like that because to me, it's like the comic books back in the day, like the What If comic
the
books. You know
what
what I'm
if
saying? Like,
joints.
what if the Juice Crew? You know what I mean? Like, I love shit like that. You know what I'm
That
saying?
that
Like, Marley is cemented. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's cemented already. You know what I mean? Like, so it's fun to take sort of like the jazz approach. Like when you look at all the jazz artists, they was like, you had the CTI dudes, they were all rocking on each other's records, but then they go do records with other people and just like I've always wanted hip hop to take on that sort of that
yeah.
mantra of just everybody collaborating, being cool.
Yeah, no, that's dope. I'm excited to hear who's on the records with you guys because you're right. Like for the most part, Hyrule Records and it's in house type shit and crew. You know
It
what I'm
is.
saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I don't almost not most joints. So I mean even
Because we
for
already have four rappers, so it's like most of the time it's like to go get another rapper is like, okay, all right, we went and got Snoop. Okay, we went and got like, you know what I mean? Like dudes, we went and got Dell, Casual, like dudes in our own crew, but we don't really like venture outside that much. You know what I'm
Nah, I
saying?
noticed
So
that. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what you got. So no, that's dope, man. Listen, I'm gonna let you go. I know you got things to do, families to raise, babies to feed, and all that. So I want to thank you very much for sliding through again. It's been a minute. Appreciate you, my G. Really do.
man, thanks for having me, man. It's always fun to talk, man, and just build, man. So whenever you need me, man, just you know what I mean, send out the bat signal. I'll be ready.
No, absolutely. I appreciate you, brother. But we will. I will hit you around. We usually do the show with Breezer about a week or so before the All Star break, so
Okay,
we can kind of look at our respective teams and see where they are and stuff like that. That'll be fun. So um, and
definitely.
he nerds out. We all just nerd out on like this, like geek out on ball. So
Well,
we
man, I
did.
play fantasy. I do all of that. So I'm, stats,
Yeah.
all of that, man. I'm
Yeah.
right
We
there.
That's been fun. We've been doing that for a little while. We did a show on just New York City point guards one time. That was a good one. So yeah, that
Ooh, I
was good.
like
So
that.
yeah, so I'll reach out. I'll give you plenty of time, plenty of runway to you know what I'm saying to jump on and stuff. But it'll be around the All Star break, and so we'll do that. But thank you again, my brother. You be safe, be well, and anything you need from me, you know what I'm saying. I'm here for you in your corner for real, for real. Like that's facts. You know what I'm
I
saying. So,
appreciate you, man. I hope to see you soon.
absolutely, my G. Take care. We'll talk soon. And I'll get this clip up on YouTube, tag you and it all on the IG and all that,
Okay.
and I'll tag you and everything. All right.
All right.
All right. Peace, family.
All right. One.